You're in the middle of a conversation, and suddenly everything stops. The words, the room, the faces around you. You have been here before, said these exact words, seen this exact moment. But you have never been here before in your life. And then it disappears, as fast as it came. This is lost signals, where some things cannot be explained, only documented. It has happened to you. You know it has. That feeling that lasts only seconds but leaves you standing completely still. Science calls it Déjà Vu, but that name explains nothing, because what you felt was not confusion. It was recognition. And recognition means you have seen it before. 97% of people experience this at least once in their lives. Not a glitch, not a malfunction, something else entirely. Because in some cases, it does not last seconds, it lasts minutes. And what people experience during those minutes has no explanation. A woman is sitting in a restaurant she has never visited. She knows which table is near the window before she looks. She knows the waiter is about to drop something before he moves. She knows the song that will play next before it starts. She tells her friend sitting across from her. Everything happens exactly as she described. She had never been to that city before that day. A man walks into a job interview in a building he has never entered. Before the receptionist speaks, he knows her name. He knows which floor the meeting is on before he is told. He knows one of the interviewers will be late. He sits down and waits. Everything happens exactly as he already knew it would. He did not get the job. They found him unsettling. Researchers at the University of Leeds studied thousands of cases where déjà vu lasted longer than normal. What they found was not a simple memory error. In case after case, people were accessing specific, accurate information about places and situations they had genuinely never encountered. Not feelings, not impressions, specific details that turned out to be correct. You have probably felt someone watching you from across a room. You turn around, and they are looking directly at you. Science calls this gaze detection, a survival mechanism, but it does not explain how you felt it before you turned, before your eyes confirmed it. Something in you already knew. A teenager is sitting in class when she suddenly feels she has lived this exact moment before. The teacher's words, the way the light comes through the window, the sound of a chair moving behind her. She writes down what she thinks will happen next. The teacher asks a question. A specific student answers. Someone laughs. A phone buzzes. She shows her friend the paper after it happens. Every detail was written down before it occurred. She was 16. She had no explanation. Neither did her teachers. Think about the last time you thought of someone you had not spoken to in months. And then your phone rang. Science calls it coincidence, pattern recognition, the brain connecting unrelated events after the fact. But you were not connecting anything after the fact. You thought of them first, before the call, before the notification, before anything happened. In 2019, researchers in Edinburgh ran a controlled study on people who reported frequent déjà vu experiences. They placed participants in rooms they had never visited and asked them to predict small details before entering. 17% produced accurate predictions that could not be explained by prior exposure or logical reasoning, not feelings, specific predictions. Written down before they walked through the door. A man is driving a road he has never driven before. He knows there is a sharp curve coming before the GPS announces it. He knows a red truck will be parked on the right side after the curve. He slows down before the bend. The truck is exactly where he knew it would be. He pulls over and sits for a long time because he has no explanation for what just happened. A song appears in your head from nowhere. Not a song you heard recently, not one you chose. It just arrives, playing on repeat in your mind for no reason. 20 minutes later, it comes on the radio. Or someone nearby starts humming it. Or it plays in a shop you walk into. You stop, you look around. Because it was already there before it existed outside your head. You are talking to someone and you already know what they are going to say before they finish their sentence. Not because you know them well, not because the conversation is predictable, but because somewhere in your mind you already heard it. You stop yourself from finishing their sentence because it feels wrong to know. And then they say it exactly as you already knew they would. You are lying in bed and suddenly your entire body jolts awake. That sensation of falling, of dropping from somewhere high. Science calls it a hypnic jerk, a muscle reflex as the brain transitions to sleep. But it does not explain why some people see the exact moment before they jolt. A ledge, a step, a floor disappearing beneath them. Some researchers believe the brain occasionally accesses information outside of normal sensory experience, a processing window that exists between what we perceive and what we are aware of perceiving. Others believe something older is happening, something that has no name in any textbook, but they all agree on one thing. What you feel in those moments is not random. It is not nothing. The next time it happens to you, stop. Pay attention to every detail before it disappears. Because what you are feeling in that moment might not be a glitch. It might be the only second in your day when something is trying to tell you something true. And you are finally quiet enough to hear it. Subscribe to Lost Signals, because this is only the beginning.